Those 8 suspects reportedly with ties to ISIS are Tajikistani nationals who authorities believe came into the United States through the southern border. The arrest came in a coordinated sting with suspects detained in Los Angeles, New York, and Philadelphia. The 8 Tajikistani nationals reportedly having ties to ISIS. Authorities confirming ICE agents arrested several non-citizens pursuant to immigration authorities. The actions were carried out in close coordination with the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Forces. Just last week, the head of the FBI warned about a type of threat on U.S. soil.
Our most immediate concern has been that individuals or small groups will draw twisted inspiration from the events in the Middle East to carry out attacks here at home.
Fox News reporting the suspects were allowed into the U.S. pending asylum after being fully vetted. It wasn't until after they were released authorities flagged them for having ties to the terror group ISIS.
It's always troublesome when any of these individuals come in, whether they come in through the southern border or they come in, through Philadelphia.
Former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Homeland Security, Jack Tamarcio, says right now federal investigators are most likely trying to learn everything they can about the suspects.
Are they ethnic Russians who were living in Tajikistan? Are they fundamentalists with a religious issue?
Right now, it's unclear what the suspects were planning or if Philly was a target.
I don't know what he was doing here. I suspect he wasn't here to see the Liberty Bell as a tourist. Either he was in transit or there was something being planned for this area. We just don't know.
Now, federal authorities have not said whether or not they believe these suspects were actually planning an active attack on U.S. soil, Jason. Those suspects remain in ICE custody tonight.
We got to talk about our southern border that Biden has left wide open. And for the longest time, he claimed that the border was closed and that, at one point in time he said that there was nothing he could do and, the whole nine. I've shown you guys all of those clips. But as far as the border goes, it gets worse than what you just heard there. We potentially have ISIS in our country now because of the border being wide open. The border that Joe Biden was continuously telling us, and Kamala and all the Democrat politicians were continuously telling us was closed. It obviously wasn't. We've seen the footage. We saw the tapes and everything else. We aren't idiots. But it gets worse. Don't believe me? Check this out.
Federal authorities are warning that a ruthless criminal gang from Venezuela has now infiltrated the U.S.
Yeah, Tren de Aragua is accused of a string of seemingly unrelated crimes, from an alleged multi-state human trafficking ring to the mysterious murder of a former police officer in Miami. Let's bring in CNN's Rafael Romo. Rafael, this is a gang that originated in a Venezuelan prison.
That's right, Boris and Brianna. That's the most...
Remember Trump said they're emptying out their prisons? Just saying. A gang that started,
Amazing thing, and that seemed to be their center of operations. And we already knew Tren de Aragua had spread its tentacles across South America. In the last several months, we investigated cases here in the United States that have all the markings of the gang, and now federal and local law enforcement, members of Congress, and immigrants are all telling us the same thing. The gang is now here in the country, and it poses a serious threat. For the last several years, they have terrorized multiple South American countries. Police in the region say a Venezuelan gang known as Tren de Aragua has victimized thousands through extortion, drug and human trafficking, kidnapping, and murder. And now U.S. law enforcement, including Customs and Border Protection and the FBI, say the gang has made their way into the country.
The FBI El Paso can confirm that members of Tren de Aragua have crossed into the United States.
Alvaro Bosa, a former Venezuelan police officer now living in Florida, says he fled his country in large part because the gang had become so powerful they could kill law enforcement like him with impunity. Bosa says a fellow police officer who refused to cooperate with the gang was shot 50 times.
He refused and was murdered. He tied his body to a motorcycle and dragged it throughout the San Vicente neighborhood to demonstrate the power of the Tren de Agua.
They have followed the migration paths across South America to other countries and have set up criminal groups throughout South America as they follow those paths, and that they appear to have followed the migration north to the United States.
U.S. Border Patrol Chief Jason Owens, who has confirmed multiple arrests of alleged Tren de Aragua members over the last year, issued a warning in early April after reporting yet another arrest. Watch out for this gang, he said. It is the most powerful in Venezuela, known for murder, drug trafficking, sex crimes, extortion, and other violent acts. The challenge for law enforcement officials.
The most powerful in Venezuela. So powerful that you had an officer there that just said, "Hey, I'm getting up out of here, coach. You know, I'm part of the law, but hey, we can't enforce the law against these folks. I gotta go." That is who Joe Biden and Democrats have allowed into our country. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I made a video on this a little while back, but they were talking about in that clip how the cartels, and I don't remember if it was this one or a different one, controlled the southern border. And there was like an area on American soil where that's where the cartel controlled. Border Patrol had no jurisdiction over there. They couldn't do anything. And that came from a border agent himself. But if you don't believe me, here's another border agent, and check out what he had to say.
What do you think this executive order, is that going to do anything?
Well, it only took him, 3 years and 7 months?
In a rare encounter, we meet a Border Patrol agent eager to vent. He asks us to mask his identity, worried he'll be fired for talking so openly.
Well, his job did take time to secure the border. We didn't have to babysit.
Does it frustrate you when you hear that, when you hear the narrative, like, why aren't Border Patrol doing anything? And
our hands are tied. If I don't allow them to cross, and they call and complain, now I'm in trouble, and I'm going to lose my job.
He blames the current administration.
He's not the only Border Patrol agent that has spoken out, against the Biden administration. Like I said, I've shown you guys those clips in the past. And it's funny how Joe Biden and Democrats always want to point the finger at Republicans and Donald Trump, but I have this clip that tells you everything you need to know.
We have rescinded so many Trump immigration policies, it would take so much time to list them.
They've gotten rid of so many Trump immigration policies that it would take so much time to list them. So he admitted that they got rid of Trump's closed border policies. He just said that. Even Joe Biden in the debates said this.
In fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
His words, not mine, But I'll also play this clip for you guys.
Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends.
Did he just... Hold on. Run that back.
Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends.
He actually said that. With a straight face. Gaslighting at its absolute finest. This is unreal. The fact that he had the audacity to say this to our faces is unreal. Jeffrey, what do you mean? He wants to try to blame Trump and MAGA Republicans for lack of border security. Trump was building the border wall. He halted that, stopped it. Trump was increasing the border security. He undid it. How about we look at the Remain in Mexico policy? This policy required asylum seekers arriving at the U.S.-Mexico border to wait in Mexico for their immigration court hearings. This made it that people couldn't game the system, seek asylum, get in the U.S., and then go do whatever they wanted to do and not go to their court hearings. It made it much harder for them to game the system. Joe Biden has literally invited them to game the system. There's a reason why we have record numbers of crossings coming across the border. The Biden administration directed Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, to focus on public safety threats, national security threats, and recent border crossers, moving away from the broader enforcement approach of the previous administration. This man has quite literally did the opposite of secure the border and has the audacity to look at us with a straight face and talk about it being the fault of Trump and the MAGA Republicans.
All facts, no lies. Biden has said it himself. And I did have the clip. Did I not save that? I had the clip where Joe Biden, and I've played it for you guys before, but it's where, matter of fact, here it is.
First of all,
here it is right here, where he admitted that Trump had the border closed. So that whole narrative that immigration was an issue when he walked into office is a lie, because he's saying that it's not an issue, and he admits that once he gets rid of those policies, if not done correctly, it could create a border crisis. Check it out.
First of all, every executive order this president has issued relating to the border and relating to dealing with the Hispanic community is going to be pulled back. We're not going to be fooling with that.
Won't that restart a brand new border crisis? I mean, what would you do with all those people in camps now waiting in Mexico?
It will if we don't do it well.
Those asylum seekers that are on the other side of the border now in camps going to be allowed to come and do their claims inside the United States, something that has not been reported.
It's the first time ever you've had to seek asylum in a third country. It's outrageous. It's outrageous.
And notice there was another part of this. Listen to this first part.
First of all, every executive order this president has issued relating to the border.
Did you hear what he said? Did you catch it? Every executive order this president has issued in relation to the border. And then remember, Joe Biden said, I've done all I can do. Yeah. He knew that was a lie. Matter of fact, is this the clip? No, that's not it. Ooh, I wish I had the clip of him saying, well, I've done all I can do. He knew that was a lie. The only reason why he came out with this bogus executive order at the very last minute in the 12th hour is because there's an election right around the corner and he knows he's losing. And even CNN, and I showed you guys those clips, CNN reporters, and I believe I showed you guys a clip of MSNBC reporters, admitted that this executive order does absolutely nothing. It's window dressing. He did that to make it look good or sound good to voters. And thankfully, voters aren't buying it. But I'm still going to call them out on it for the few that are, believing that crap. It was a complete lie. Absolute lie. One, he lied about not being able to do anything. You just heard him say he was getting rid of Trump's executive orders on the border. So he knew that he could do something because Trump did it. You know what I mean? And he was getting rid of those executive orders. And he's used executive orders before. A lot of them. Two, when they were all saying, the border's closed, the border's secure, the border's secure, the border's closed, the border's closed. That was a lie. They knew it the entire time. It was a lie. And now we have potentially dangerous gangs and ISIS in our country. Congratulations, America. We've played ourselves by electing this bumbling fool. Anyway, share this, y'all. I'm out.